Greetings. My name is Ryan Dooley, and I work with the Office of Academic Affairs. I'm also a CUNY Law alum from 2009. Today, I'm going to walk you all through the full-time academic program here at the CUNY School of Law. We'll start with some basic fundamentals. We'll walk through the program, and then we'll get into some more detailed aspects of the program afterwards. If you have any questions, feel free to drop me an email at ryan.dooley@law.cuny.edu. So the program here at CUNY Law requires a student to have completed 86 credits to graduate. There are certain rare instances when a student has to take a couple of more in addition to the 86, but usually 86 is the general rule for graduation. And those courses are a mixture of mandatory classes as well as electives. I've listed on the left-hand side of the screen here are the vast majority of the mandatory courses, starting with the 1L fall courses, LADP, criminal law, contracts, all the way down to clinic, which will be one of your final required courses at the law school. On the right-hand side, I've listed some additional courses, bar electives, and we'll talk about those in greater detail a little later on. Core doctrine, also we'll talk about that in greater detail. And then various other electives that we offer, voting rights, rights of low-wage workers, healthcare advocates. We try to offer a robust array of classes that meet a variety of individuals' professional and educational goals. If you ever do have an idea for a course that you'd like to see at the law school, please feel free to reach out to Academic Affairs. There is a process through which new courses are created, but courses certainly have been created based upon student suggestion in the past. So we invite you to reach out to us, and we'll see what we can do. Moreover, on this question of the number of credits required to graduate, students often ask, or they want to confirm with the office if they're on track to graduate. And one way to do this is just by making sure you have enough credits each semester to keep you on track. The basic math is that it requires about 14.25 credits per semester to graduate in 6 semesters. Anything you take in addition to that speeds up your progress through law school. Anything you take below that might slow down your progress through law school. There's opportunities to take additional credits. There's opportunities to take credits during the summer that we will talk about later in the program. But as a quick rule, if you look at your transcript, you look at your course total, credit total, and you're taking between 14 and 15 credits per semester, you're on track to graduate. So let's take it step by step as we walk through the academic program. Fall semester of your 1L year, you'll take 15 credits. Those credits will consist of liberty, equality, and due process for 3 credits, lawyering seminar for 4 credits, criminal law for 3 credits, contracts for 3 credits, and legal research for 2 credits, for a total of 15 credits. And then switching over to the spring semester, you'll take torts for 3 credits, civil procedure for 3 credits, contracts for 3 credits, so it's contracts part 2, and then lawyering seminar 2 for 4 credits, and then critical race theory for 2 credits. And this will be new starting in spring 2024 for full-time students. It used to be LFR. So if you entered into the program before fall 2023, then your requirement would be law and the family relation for 2 credits. If you entered in fall 2023 or after, your required course for the spring semester of your 1L year will be critical race theory. So you finish up your first year, congratulations, and you've made it to the summer. And the summer schedule, it varies from year to year, but there are certain consistent trends. Specifically, every year we strive to offer a selection of bar electives, so courses that are regularly tested on the bar exam, and then an array of general electives that really vary from year to year and are often inspired, again, by students from time to time, but also from professors that have a particular interest that they want to teach a course about, or an area of research that they want to teach a course about. We strive to create the schedule late winter, early spring, so we give us folks as much lead time as possible to plan out their summers. Students generally take 6 credits, so that would be 2 classes if they do take summer credits. And like I said, it's a mixture of bar electives and other electives. There's significant benefits taking summer classes in that it can lessen your load during the school year. So it gives you a little more time during the school year to focus on your classes. And also, it can also expedite your journey through law school. So if you're, again, going back to the point about the 14.25 credits per semester, anything you take during the summer just adds on top of that credit total. So if you were to take 6 credits during your first summer and 6 credits during your second summer, that'd be 12 credits on top, which is almost an entire semester of law school credits. So again, these are things to kind of work into your equation and to think about and deliberate as you're planning out your academic trajectory. Most folks do law school in about 6 semesters, but there are some variations that we'll get into depth about a little while later in this presentation. The summer is over. We're back to school in the fall semester. The 3rd semester for full-time students is doctrinally a pretty heavy one. You know very well how to read a case, how to spot an issue, how to extrapolate the rule and apply the rule to a set of facts and draw reasonable conclusions. And now you have the opportunity to use those skills in these doctrinally heavy classes. Specifically, evidence, which is a 4-credit class and is required for clinic. Constitutional structures, which is a 3-credit class and also required as a prerequisite for clinic. Some students in the fall semester will take property. I didn't when I was a 2L. I took property my spring semester. Instead, I took public institutions, which is also known as administrative law, for 3 credits. Folks don't generally take all 4 of those together: evidence, constitutional structures, property, and PI. A tried and true path is evidence, constitutional structures, property, or PI, and then maybe some electives. Unlike the first year where the classes are all chosen for you, you'll have selected these classes at the end of your 1L year. So these will be classes that you'll select yourself, and you'll do so in conjunction with your academic advisor or the Office of Academic Affairs. So there is some flexibility here, and what you'll find as you proceed further and further into law school, you get more and more flexibility. You finish the fall semester, congratulations, and now you're into the spring semester. And the spring semester, to me, kind of denotes a pivot point from the first half of law school to the second half of law school. Literally, you're halfway through, but it begins the transition from those foundational formative first half law school courses that are doctrinally heavy and move towards the capstone clinical program. And a key bridge in that process is Law Sem 3, a continuation of the first year lawyering seminar classes. Law Sem 3, like I said, serves as that bridge and gets you ready to enter into clinic. For some of the law sems, they actually serve as a direct bridge into the clinic. So for example, the Defenders Lawyering Seminar 3 is a prerequisite for the Defenders Clinic. So there's an application process, and the application happens in the fall semester. So it would happen the previous fall semester. And for the defenders, if you are not accepted into the Lawyering Seminar 3, you won't be able to participate in the Defenders Clinic. There are other lawyering seminars that have a connection, but not quite as directly linked in terms of prerequisites, those being the Community Economic Development Lawyering Seminar 3 and mediation. There are also CED clinics and mediation clinics, but there isn't that prerequisite requirement, that course requirement. They provide a heightened advantage when applying for the CED clinic and the mediation clinic, but they don't necessarily act as prerequisites. In that spring semester, students may also be taking property if they didn't do so in the fall, or public institutions, again, if they didn't do so in the fall, and they'll be filling out their schedules with other electives, maybe doing an independent study, maybe they're doing moot court for credit. Again, this is where you really see your schedule start to open up, and you have a significant amount of flexibility in determining where you want your educational trajectory to go. Back to the summertime, again, all depends. But again, the schedule usually comes out sometime in the early spring, late winter, and it can be a great opportunity to earn some additional credits. You've made it to the fall of your 3L year, your penultimate semester generally, and this is when most folks do their clinics. At this point, all of our clinics start in the fall. They're either 2-semester clinics or 1-semester clinics. The 2-semester clinics are 8 credits each semester. The 1-semester clinics are 12 credits. So it definitely happens that students will just take clinic, especially those that maybe have taken summer classes or took some additional credits along the way. But at 12 credits, you're a full-time student. 12 credits is the lower threshold, the floor for a full-time status. So there are students who just take clinic and immerse themselves in that experience. Often, though, those students will take an additional class, generally not 2 additional classes. That would be a pretty heavy load, and you actually can't go beyond 17 credits as a full-time student. So students will often take, say, their clinic and then other electives. They may be general electives or bar electives. And then finally, you've made it to your final semester. Graduation is getting closer, and you're finishing up any additional credits and electives that you have to finish up before you graduate and prepare to sit for the bar exam. There is a class called Core Doctrine that students often take in this last semester, and we highly, highly encourage folks to take it. I took it when I was a 3L, and I really benefited from it. It got me it got me in great shape to sit for the bar exam. It is a class that reviews many of the doctrines that you studied your first year of law school, in combination with test-taking skills and strategies that are specifically tailored towards bar success. So where many folks start preparing for the bar exam, say in May after graduation, if you're taking core ALA, you'll begin to prepare for the bar exam in January, beginning that process. It's really a wonderful class that I highly recommend when the time comes. I'll pivot a little bit towards some special academic advising topics. Many of these things I've mentioned throughout the presentation, but I want to take a little more time to give some more granular detail about them. So a word on bar electives. Bar electives are classes that have been deemed by the academic dean to be particularly applicable to study for the bar exam. So those subjects that are regularly tested on the bar exam, and we find that these courses provide a more narrow scope and a more nuanced take on these classes, which then translates into bar success. So criminal procedure investigation, wills and trusts, domestic relations law. These are all courses that are heavily tested on the bar exam, and these classes will provide a nice foundation that will then pay their dividends when you're studying for the bar exam and ultimately sitting for the bar exam. Noting that professional responsibility does not count as a bar elective. It used to, but it no longer does. There's no form to fill out to opt out. You just don't have to take the courses. So to that end, it's required for all students in the full-time program and the part-time program to take 4 bar electives. Students can opt out of this requirement if after their 3rd semester they have over a 3.3 cumulative GPA. So if you have at the end of that 3rd semester, that fall semester, a 3.3 or higher, then you don't have to take 4 bar electives. You can take 4 bar electives, but you're not required to. And again, there's no form that you have to fill out to opt out. You just wouldn't take them, and the registrar would note that when they're doing their graduation audit. And then a word on core doctrine. Again, we talked about core doctrine and the value of the course, and all students again are required to take it, with the exception of students who have over a 3.3 after their 5th semester. So with bar electives, it's after the 3rd semester, and with core doctrine, it's after the 5th semester. If you have a 3.2999, then you have to take core doctrine. But if you have that 3.3, you don't have to take core doctrine. We still highly recommend that you do take core doctrine for all the reasons I mentioned before. Similar with the bar electives, if you have a 3.2999 with that as well, you have to take the bar electives. That 3.3 is a pretty clear line. And then a word on creating flexibility in your schedule. Sometimes during my academic advising sessions, students will feel as if they don't have any options, or they feel like they're restricted in terms of the classes they can take by the schedule or the offerings. So I encourage folks, if they can and they qualify, to maybe take a course at another CUNY institution. One of the great benefits of being part of this massive institution is that you can take grad classes at the grad center, at City College, at Hunter, wherever a graduate level course that might be applicable to your study of law exists, provided you have over a 3.0 GPA. You can take a course there, and the credit counts towards graduation. You can transfer up to 12 credits. You could also take a course at another ABA accredited law school. Those courses are often more expensive just because the credits are more expensive, but if you get pre-approval, they will transfer over. I invite folks maybe to explore taking an independent study. Is there an area of study or a particular paper you want to write? You can do an independent study in conjunction with an internship. The internship alone can't serve as the basis of the independent study. There's a writing requirement in conjunction with it. But if you've got an internship and seeking academic credit for it is something you'd be interested in, reach out to academic affairs or perhaps talk to your academic advisor for more information about that. Law review and moot court are available for credit as well as being a teaching assistant. One note on the teaching assistant option is that you do have to pay for the credit. It's unlike a research assistant where sometimes people get paid. For a teaching assistant, you can get credit for it, but you have to pay for the credit for it. And generally, the cost is included in that 12 to 17 window of tuition that you pay. The full-time flat rate applies to folks who are taking 12 credits up to 17 credits. Students can take up to 16 credits without permission, and if they want to go over that to 17, they have to get permission from the academic dean's office. Then a quick note on taking a different path through law school. We have our dual degree programs. We have 3 of those, and if that's something you're interested in, reach out to our academic dean's office. Taking classes for incomplete or leaves of absence. We understand that sometimes one's journey through law school can get interrupted. If you find yourself in this position and you're contemplating taking a leave of absence, reach out to academic affairs, reach out to student affairs, and we can help guide you on that process. One thing to note is that a student has 5 years to complete law school from the moment that they begin. So if you're contemplating taking a leave of absence, that's something you might want to consider. There are exemptions and exceptions to this rule, but again, it's best to make decisions that are informed based upon all the factors at play. There is the pro bono scholars program that works along the same lines as our clinical program. This information usually comes out in the spring, and it provides students the opportunity to actually sit for the bar the February before the rest of the class is taking the bar exam. So you would do your coursework for the clinic in the fall. You would sit for the bar in February and then do your clinical work in the spring. It's a pretty amazing opportunity. If it's something you're interested in, you can reach out to our office and we can provide more information. And then finally, the credit, no credit option. We don't have a pass-fail option at the law school, but we do have credit, no credit. Students can take up to 4 classes that are electives. You can't take any required courses for credit, no credit. And the student must receive a C+ or higher to receive credit for the course. If they get a C or below, they don't receive credit for the course, and it counts as a 1.0 in the calculation of their GPA, so essentially a D towards their GPA. Students are able to select credit, no credit after they see their grades. So the grades will come out in January or they come out in May, and then they're given a set period of time to make that determination and to submit the form if they'd like to. And then finally, a quick note on law school resources. I'm here today on behalf of the Office of Academic Affairs. We work regularly in conjunction with the registrar, who will conduct degree audits and maintain the webpage with all the forms on it. So as with many things in the law school and with CUNY, there are many forms involved. So if you have any questions about any of those forms, please feel free to reach out to our office or the registrar, and we can provide follow-up assistance. The Student Affairs Office also has just a wealth of information in terms of various supports. So I highly encourage you to reach out to them, career planning as well. And then I would recommend checking out the student handbook, which is where most of this, if not all of this information, is actually located. And then finally, your academic advisors. I had a great relationship with my academic advisor when I was in law school, helped me a ton along the way. And I would invite you all to do the same, to reach out to them and begin to have these conversations about what your next academic steps would be. So that's it for me today. I want to thank you for your time. Please, again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me at ryan.dooley@law.cuny.edu. And that's Ryan, RYAN .dooley, DOOLEY, @law.cuny.edu. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions at all. Thank you very much and have a great day.